Hey everybody, this is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in lovely San Diego, California, where we have quite the breeze today, but it is lovely. I think it's high 60s or so and sunny and just typical San Diego weather this time of year. Actually, I think April's usually a little warmer than this, but this works for me. So hoping some of you come on today. Anyway, lots to talk about, and I just got a new update that is going to excite a lot of people because Stampin' Up! Just announced some free shipping days. So that is for this week, Wednesday through Friday, which is, oh shoot, what's the date? April 23rd to the 25th. So free shipping on those days. This is a great time to stock up on cardstock and things like that, because cardstock is going up to $14 for that 24 pack. We've got kits galore going on. Everybody knows May 6th is new online exclusives and our new catalog going live. And if you still need one, let me know. Hopefully everybody by now has gone on to their Stampin' Up! Page, and the first thing that should come up is, do you want to opt into our new rewards program? I think as soon as you put something into an order, that comes out. So please opt in, because you will get a credit for 10% of whatever you buy to use on your next order, and you can save those all up for a year and buy something big, or you can use them just on your very next order. Oh shoot, what did I do with those cards? Oh, hold on. My next class at Oasis in Rancho Bernardo is going to be sympathy cards, because everybody there is 55 and older, and guess what? We're needing sympathy cards. So this is kind of a sneak peek at some cards that we are going to be doing. So hopefully you can make it. I'll try to remember to put the Oasis link into the chat down there when I'm done. And then I've got a Florals in Bloom Suite coming class on May 18th. Really need to know by May 5th whether or not you want to do that, if you're going to, especially if you're going to do it here with me, but you can get that at home too. And details include, we're going to do 4 cards. There'll be at least one that is a fun fold using the Floral and Bloom Suite. For as little as $35, you get that plus half a pack of the Florals and Bloom paper, a package of the 25 to 27 in color flat dots. And if you're doing it at home, you get all the directions with a great PDF. If you want to buy the class with one of the stamp sets, it's $54 or $59 depending on which one. If you buy the whole suite, I will pay, or the stamp set, I will pay for your shipping from Stampin' Up! To me, and then you're going to pay me an extra $10 to ship it to you if you're not coming to class. But if you buy the whole suite, I'll take money off of the class thing as well, and you'll just pay $142. And if you want either bundle, it'll be $85 with all that other stuff that I just named. Coming in May, I know, I can show you this. This is a, we did this, I believe it was last week or the week before, with the new Cheers and Sips. I'm going to have a special tutorial bundle available for anybody who orders from me in May, for anybody who orders at least a $50 order. And I'll give you some more information next week when I'm absolutely positive that this is going to happen, because it's kind of a collaboration, which is very exciting. Hopefully everybody knows, when I'm done, I will go to my blog, stampwithdrrobin.blogspot.com, and there'll be pictures and written directions and written measurements in case I forget to give them to you today, and you can get that all there. And then it's also going to be up on YouTube, which is fabulous, because now Facebook is going to delete these after 30 days. So after that, you can go back and watch 200 of me. I think I'm over 200 now on on YouTube forever. So I'm gonna just repeat this for everybody who came in late. Hey Lori, hi Diane. That Stampin' Up just an hour ago or so announced free shipping this Wednesday through Friday. And also if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, so you have to be an active subscriber, there's going to be a Paper Pumpkin sale where add-ons, refills, past kits are going to be up to 75% off. So that is only Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday. So that's all pretty darn exciting. So let me get my stuff over here. Whoops, that stuff falling off everywhere. Okay. Hold please while we put you down. So this is introducing our new, whoops, drunk cameraman, our new Floral Impressions suite. So we have, let me get the white behind here. And this is going to be a new online suite, online exclusives, okay? So that's why if you have the catalog already and you're going, I don't remember seeing this in the catalog, it is an online exclusive starting May 6th. And to me, the most exciting thing are the dies and the paper, but we're gonna get there. So we have this stamp set that has these two-step stamps, and I'll give you some little hints about using those. We've got some pretty nice looking, I find it really cool when they do these together, where some of them are more script and some of them are more, you know, what do you want to call that? Print. And I love when they mix and match. And these are actually mix and matchable by you. I appreciate you so very much. We're going to be using thank you so very much. So that's kind of cool. On to the dies. So like I said, I really think the dies are a real standout here because of these ovals, which will cut out this as a ring that you can then move around to different ones. And then this one is just a single oval that looks like this. And actually, so when this cuts out, like I said, it cuts this oval frame, I guess is the best word. But then you also get this one in the middle, and that can layer on this one. So that's cool. This is a kind of oval shape that we haven't really had before either. So that's layerable. Now we also have a bunch of leaves. We have some little teeny flowers. These are centers for the flowers. And I just want to show you a couple things about both the two-step dies as well as the flowers. When they come, you know, in the little package, they will come like this. I highly suggest you immediately turn them over and take a Sharpie, you can hopefully see that here, and mark them like that. See how I marked them? Because otherwise, every time you want to cut, you're going like this. Dang, how did that go? Okay, so that's one hint. Now, I also want you to do that with both parts. Hopefully you can see that I did that on the back of both parts of the flowers. So figure out how the flowers go. See, now I started taking mine off before I did that, but I'm willing to bet when they're actually in there, they're probably like that, so that you can easily do that. And then figure out where they're going to go so that this fits correctly too. So I did all of that before I cut anything out. And now what I'm going to do is when I'm stamping, I'm going to mount that like that with that little line on the top. And I'm going to mount this in the exact same way so that when I stamp the two-step, I stamp that and then I stamp that, and it's just so much easier. So do yourself a favor and do that first. There's also these beautiful gems in this suite called Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink. So that's the new Strawberry Slush, which is, you can see, is in the paper. And this is Pretty in Pink, and then you have some clear ones that obviously go with everything, which is always nice. So this is the paper. It is stunning. Like, I don't even know what to do with this one because I don't really want to cut it up. It is so beautiful. I mean, you could stick this in a frame and just hang it up somewhere. And then they have these beautiful colors in just real fine, small prints on the back. Let me tell you what the colors are in here. We have Crush Curry, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Peach Pie, Pecan Pie, Pool Party, Pretty in Pink, and Strawberry Slush. So as we go by, you can kind of see them. And honestly, I feel like there are other colors in here that aren't really mentioned. This is cool. We're actually going to be using the little Pool Party print on the back today. And they just made these flowers to me look almost like sunflowers. And a garden green pretty one. I think the backs are just gorgeous too. There's another just beautiful flower one. I mean, truly all you need to do is cut a piece of this out and slap on a sentiment and call it a beautiful card. So this, did I say? Well, I guess this is Misty Moonlight. It kind of looks like there's also, see this really dark part? That looks like our new Secret Sea in there too, which is really interesting. I'm trying to look if I have a piece of Secret Sea sitting here on my desk somewhere to see. Not so easy to find. And then the back of this one is, I don't know if you can see it, this gets hard to see on camera, but these are little stripes. So that's the paper. And I'll show you one of the cards I made. We're not going to make this one today, but I picked out the Misty Moonlight in there. This is the new Timid Tiger, and I don't even think that's one that they said is in here. So that's what I mean by you kind of pull out. No, it's not even listed, but to me that darker on those orange flowers looks like Timid Tiger. But like I said, you could just put a few flowers or slap on the sentiments, and you can see these are the dies and how they cut and emboss at the same time. And I'll show you that in a minute on the card we're going to do. So this is the card that we're going to do today. So what I decided to do is just get some pretty colors and you know, just get them all together on a card using that really cool oval that I love. So oops, I guess I need to bring this up a little bit. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is what we're going to make for today. So let me put that a little bit to the side. And the first thing I want to do is cut out some things with you. So let's bring up our cut and emboss machine. Now I did want to show you what I like to do when I get new dies like this is I really like to cut out a bunch of different things, and that way I can kind of mix and match. So this is the big flower that we're doing. See those two little things there that make it easy for me to just put it on here and match it up. And then we need some little pretty things. But see, I have all this space and I'm going to run it through anyway. So I may just take it and, well, actually, no, I'm going to need this for here. But I could do, if I wasn't doing the lemon lolly ones. So this is Highland Heather, this is Lemon Lolly. Then I would just take more flow. Oh, I know what flowers I can do. Here's some other little flowers that we can do. And just, I'll show you how I save them, just kind of for next time. And then I'm gonna get a little center. I'm not cutting everything out with you. I'm not gonna cut the green out. But this is how I cut a whole bunch out, and then next time, sometimes I just will then say, oh, what are the things that I have going on in there, you know, that I cut out before. Ooh, and then sometimes it also helps me to get just pretty things to go together that I wouldn't necessarily think of before, you know, all by myself. It just gives me some other color choices. I'm trying to put these back on their magnetic sheet before I lose something. I have been known to lose something, especially things like this little teeny thing right here. And it's such a pain when you need it and can't find it. All right. Let me pull some of these off. I'm leaving this machine here because we are going to also cut out the oval right now. So this is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Pool Party, and we are gonna use this oval to cut out. It's just got a little warped. Cut this out, and I'm using the oval that gives you that little frame. And like I said, the cool thing about, we're just going to use the same one in the same color, but the cool thing about that frame is you can, you know, mix it and match it with other colors. So you could have the oval, you know, around it, or the inside one, and just use a different color, which is really fun. All right, let's get this out of the way. And then, okay, so you've got that oval. You could even use it like that on the card if there's something pretty to show in beneath. And then you've got this little frame. And you can use the frame separately too. Cool, huh? Like I said, I think the dies are really special in this set. All right, let me try to move some things out of the way. All right, and I'm gonna get the rest of what I need over here, including the green. Remember I said I'm not cutting out any green today. Okay, so now we have the rest of what we need. So this is our, you know, Pool Party 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, our usual thing that we are going to be doing for a card. I don't know why this one got a little munched, because I just put it out here just before we started. There we go, the other side's not so munched. And then I have a piece of Pool Party. This is the one, the DSP that had these pretty ferns on it, but I'm just using this Pool Party side. And the Pool Party, this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. This piece is just a smidgen smaller, like maybe not even 1/8 of an inch smaller. And the reason I did that is I just thought it would be easier to not have to worry about things sticking out. All right, so just put a little glue on the back. let's make sure, I had to think for a minute, let's make sure that we're not gluing the wrong side. And like I said, all I wanted to do is make sure I wasn't going to have to worry about this side showing or not showing. Somehow I'm getting little smushes. I think maybe I need to clean off my glass mat. I know Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. These are just adhesive removers. It's just like a little rubbery thing. We don't sell them anymore, but guess what? You can get them on Amazon. Put in adhesive remover and you should be able to find it. And now I'm going to take this little guy and stick him back in here. And so you have this piece to use later for something else, because that's going to be a you know, potentially great background for something. So I am just putting little dots of glue. I'm barely pressing on here because I don't want them to show through, and I know I'm going to probably get a little bit of glue on things because you can see I've already got it on my finger. All right, and then you notice it just fits in here perfectly. Isn't that pretty though? It's just kind of like an extra little added interest frame, which I think is just really pretty. And then we're going to put that on our card with using dimensionals. Because guess what? You cannot make a card without dimensionals. In my book, anyway. There we go. And you can't use dimensionals without getting these silly little backs all over everything, as my husband will attest to. All right. Now we got that, and we can now put our little flowers on here. So let's build our little scene. I'm going to put our flower centers on. Let's make sure we have the right one. There we go. And then, you know, there are little centers for these smaller flowers, but I've just kind of decided that I like these little guys better because I think they're awfully cute, as well as I can cut, you know, 3 at the same time. Where I can't do that with the other centers. So that's my logic for that. Okay, so we're gonna have, whoops, I think I must have used too much glue on that one, just slid right off. Or I know what it is, it's my fingers are so sticky. All right, so we're gonna put that one here, that one here. This one is going to have some dimensionals, so I might as well stick those on right now. And then I think after I do this, oh, I only have 2. I'm supposed to have 3 of those. All right, let's see if we can go back and find any. I didn't cut any pictures of those. Well, oh, found it. Yay. So I guess this goes up further because we didn't really see. This is why, you know, when you're making this scene, you want to kind of put it together before you glue things down. And then we'll put these 2 out here, but I'm going to put these in later. I'm going to glue stuff down first. Okay. So let's take that off and that off. So some of it I've got glued down, but the ends, you know, can come up a little bit. Same thing here. I'm not going to totally glue it down. Just mainly in the center. And then I'm going to take this and just put it where I'm going to want it, so I can make sure that I'm not gluing that in the wrong spot. All right, so let's put that down, and then we'll glue the little leaves down. Hey, Beth. I don't think you were on at the beginning, Beth, but the big news of the day is there's free shipping Wednesday through Friday this week. And if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can get up to 75% off on kit refills or old kits or things like that. And that's just Wednesday, Thursday, not Friday. Okay. Free shipping is great because, you know, not only are you getting free shipping, you're not getting taxed for that shipping. All right, so I just realized we have yet to make our sentiment. So let's do that. And I also did not get it on a block yet. So I can show you what I like to do when I am putting things on a block is I like to line it up on here and line it up on the block like this. Whoops. That didn't work. So I'm lining the block up on one of the lines, and then I'm also lining the words up. Whoops, let's get that on one of the lines, so it should be straight. And there's our thanks. You know, it's a little more challenging when you have two that you have to line up. All right, so let's get our stuff for embossing. We got our heat gun. I am going to do this on a piercing mat. I just find that I can do most things on my glass mat, but the piercing mat seems to work for me a little bit better when I am going to do words. So we got our embossing buddy. And then we're going to oh, I got it. We're going to stamp that, and hopefully it's straight since I didn't have time to proof that. Looks pretty straight. And this is just a 3/4 inch piece of garden green. So it was a scrap from something, and we're going to emboss that in white. I'm going to try to get these little pieces off of here. This one is going to be a challenge. Well, I smushed the other thing so we can try that again, but then you'll notice when you do try it again, it's still going to give you these little smushes in the exact same spots because you can't get all the Versamark off. I think that'll work. All right. I have just very old tweezers that I'll sometimes hold with, but I just realized this is big enough I don't have to do that. And sometimes I'll put the heat underneath first, and that helps with the warping. Because sometimes this will warp it a little bit. And melt away. I just love embossing. I love introducing people to embossing because they just get so excited about it the first time anybody sees it. So I'm just going to cut that off on this side and a little bit more on this side because we are going to flag this end. And I just cut it down the middle, cut up one side, cut up about the same spot on the other side, and voila. That takes a little practice, guys, but it's well worth it because I like to flag those ends. And you could also have done this with a, you know, just you cut it out somehow with any sort of die. And then we just need to do the inside, and I wanted to show you some stamp. I'm just going to stamp one of the flowers on the inside. Yes, May 6th is the big day for the new catalog, and these new, like I said, this isn't in the catalog, this is a new online exclusive. All right, so I've got this for my inside. This is 3 3/4 by 5, just basic white. Remember I showed you these ones, how they've got those little lines there, so I know that's how they're going to line up. I'm going to take my Highland Heather, and what I'm going to do is just stamp it off to the side here. Oh, here we go. I got a little scratch piece of paper. And just stamp it off to the side, and then stamp it down in the corner here. Okay, so that's my kind of background one. Then I got a more detailed stamp. Now again, I'm noticing that that little line is faced up, and so then I can just more easily line this up. Isn't that pretty? And you could have done this in two separate colors, but I really like the effect when you do it like this in one color. And then you've got room here to write whatever you want that you're thanking this person so very much for. Isn't that pretty? So here's, oh, I almost forgot my little gems. Now this is called Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink Gems, but I'm going to use these clear ones. And I'm going to use my take your pick tool. These look like there's two different sizes here. So I'm going to take one of the bigger ones and one of the smaller ones down here. Oops, wrong way. Got a big old glob of this stuff coming off here. We don't need that. We just need it a little. And this one just does not want to leave home and go on a card. Come on, there you go. And I'm going to need to twist this a little bit because I took that whole glob off. And then I got another big one up here. So there is our card number 1 and card number 2. In some colors that are a little different than the colors that are in the beautiful paper, but I love the softness of that one, that part right there. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit about this lovely suite of products. Here's that other card that I was showing you that I had made using the pretty paper that is just beautiful. All right, gonna pull you back up here. So, like I said, we've got free shipping this Wednesday through Friday. We've got some very discounted paper pumpkin pass kits, but you have to be a present paper pumpkin person. Say that 5 times fast. So if you're not a present paper pumpkin person, go ahead and order the, I guess we're into the May kit. And then you can get these great deals on past kits. And also, don't forget about my floral impression, not floral, sorry, floral and bloom, I think it is. lots of florals going on, floral blooms. Class coming up, my Oasis class for the sympathy cards, and May 6th is fast approaching, so get those lists. Oh, I know what I forgot to say, paper shares. So I've got a great paper share for $41 if you can pick it up here, or $10 more to ship it to you. And it's going to be the papers from the new annual catalog, as well as papers from the online exclusives that are starting on May 6th. And a little surprise from me, a little thank you surprise. So let me know if you're interested in that paper share by May 5th, as well as the class. Hi Roz, yeah, you're going to have to watch the replay of this pretty card, but glad you could make it. Anyway, and I think that's about it, and I will see you next week at regular time, 1 o'clock Pacific time. So take care. Bye-bye. Finish.